Hello and welcome to Angry Andy Reviews, and this is my review for Capone. Starring Tom Hardy as the most renowned gangster in history, Capone charts the final year of the legendary Al Capone's life as his body and his mind succumbs to dementia, attributed to neurosyphilis, which he contracted when he was just 15 years old. It explores the troubled mind of a man who has done terrible things and who is now haunted by that past. The film is bookended by two Thanksgiving dinners. We see Capone and his estate, which sees furniture dissolve over time due to financial burdens, slide ever gradually away with his wife May, played by Linda Cardellini, who absolutely carries the film and is brilliant. She seemingly being the only person who genuinely cares for him. Cardellini is the linchpin for every moment of emotional play and payoff in this film. As Capone's faculties fail him and doubts arise as to the integrity of those around him, she remains resolutely loyal to a fault. She is the main channel for all the emotion in the entire film, and truth be told, one of the only really redeeming aspects of the entire film. Cardellini's performance excels in the nuance, especially as the film dives into some truly heavy cerebral moments. She keeps anchor in what may well develop into one of the most underrated performances of this year. The rest of the film, though, reeks. It absolutely reeks, and that's not just because Capone shit himself, which he does several times, mind you. Oh no. Narratively, the film is a mess. It meanders between the realms of reality and the nightmares brought about by the dementia with which Capone is suffering, in an overly heavy and cerebral way, relying possibly too much on your pre-existing knowledge of this notorious criminal to fill in the blanks. The film remains very much so in the present, with only brief moments of slippage showing us the past and the ghosts that haunt him, with Matt Dillon effectively acting as the herald of Capone's demise. It all gets very David Lynch in the way the nightmares are constructed, the shots and the soundscape, which is great in my book, but it doesn't quite sit right from moment to moment. Josh Trank, the director and the editor and producer, clearly has an immense eye for the old school craft of shot and detail in editing, but some individual moments are undone by an odd sense of all tell and no show. The sadness of Capone's literal decay is pretty well explored. He is trapped within a prison of his own body and his own mind, eventually reduced to a shuffling mess who is barely able to communicate. But sentimentality of it is lost due to a lack of any real tension, and the film comes to a conclusion with a wholly contrived finale. The film, in its entirety, from start to finish, actively sought to avoid the aspects of Capone that are most obvious. Yeah, he smokes his cigar, of course, but in a brief moment of levity, he is forcibly altered to smoke a carrot, and what little semblance of that famous frenzied craziness remains in him is left until the last moment in what is a dementia-riddled fantasy of incredible ultra-violence. The trouble is that the whole sequence holds no weight and has no real impact due to the film's constant shifts between reality and his nightmares. Instead of being drawn into the moment of this absolute craziness, you sit outside of it, waiting for the punchline of whether what we are seeing is real or not, and that is a true failure. It is all very anticlimactic, and it speaks volumes as to the film itself. What advertisements I saw for this film completely sold me a very different picture, and maybe there is a discussion to be had on movie advertisements and trailers and the techniques involved at another time. Tom Hardy, though, is extremely entertaining as this feral and truly bitter man. It is in no way subtle at all. There are appropriate levels of ham on toast, to put it one way, to be gleaned from him, but he clearly seems to be relishing in the iconography of this character. He is excellent at portraying a man whose body has ultimately betrayed him, too old before his time. Capone died when he was only 48, which is absolutely mad. But Hardy pushes the character through increasing levels of difficulty and eventual internal loneliness. The film, however, doesn't quite match the performance, and in the end it almost feels unfinished and incomplete. The performances were there to create a truly outstanding biopic. The craft in the production was there to catch moments of it. But 2 hours was too little time to explore in full the depth of such a decline. Perhaps this should have been a limited series event, but then again, that in itself may have ended up taking away from the ultimately bizarre and sour taste that this film has. It's one of the strangest films I've ever watched. It's hard to recommend, except possibly to those who have a weird desire to see Tom Hardy literally decay on screen. I still struggle with what to make of this film. Unfortunately for me, this is a 5 out of 10. I would have loved to have seen this in a different format, I think. I think that's the main problem. There are aspects of the film that I really, really love, and there are aspects of it that I just cannot stand at all. And that is why I'm sitting firmly on the fence at a 5 out of 10. There you have it. What an interesting film. Now, what are we doing going forward? Possibly a few more one-paragraph reviews, which will be on the Facebook page and the newly established Twitter page as well. Other than that, I may have some other collectibles coming very soon. We'll see what happens. But as always, thank you very much for watching, guys. Stay safe. Bye-bye.